And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see some very similar picks and bans, at least for the first banning phase, coming through yet again for these two teams. And right away, the Chronos, the Terra, we saw this one before, Osiris immediately following afterwards.
So the Chronos and the Terra, these are repeat bans. These are, look, we don't want to see Chronos or Terra, period. We'll see you later. The Dimmy?
The Dimmy, yeah.
The Dimmy?
That's,
yeah.
Shout out to Dimmy on that one.
Yeah, because like we said, Dignitas won. The reason they won was because they took down the Osiris and then allowed everybody else to fall down like dominoes. It took them 55 minutes to execute that. So let's take the Osiris out of the competition and look for something else. NRG banned the Robin. Cubo Fred is the one that took down the Osiris. Listen, this is first grade math here.
I mean, it's pretty standard selection choices all around, but this just goes to show how much these teams adapt in a LAN environment. When they recognize something that's a problem, they're just like, okay, we're not dealing with that again. Immediately take it away. That is the level of adaptation, no pun intended, that needs to happen in this environment.
Soul was the sort of first problem in that game. NRG was trying to take down the Soul, and that's what allowed NRG to sort of come and find themselves in the lead. You're excited.
I am excited. Every time I see that Morrigan picked up, and I just know that is scary and exciting at the same time.
I mean, look, I know everybody's mad about it. I don't want to bring it up, but that game number 2 trifecta, NRG wins that last team fight. We didn't get to see it, but we got to see the beginning. I'll tell you exactly what happened, even without seeing it. Morrigan wraps around, one-shot Snoopy, and it's a 5-on-4. They lose the game. Done. The Morrigan is the reason. Yaman, a fantastic player on this goddess, and so she's going to be picked up alongside Bologna, likely for Dimmy. Zotz and Wukong will be the selection for Team Dignitas.
I really like the Camazot selection here because of his first ability, having that homing. It works similar to the Hu Yi Mark of the Crow, in that once you hit somebody with it, you can keep tabs on them for that entire duration period. And that's, I think, the exact mindset here for Dignitas.
I mean, going back to that trifecta set, the Morrigan's invisibility is what allowed her to flank the team and ultimately win that team fight, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think you're onto something there. Camazot's very important for the Morrigan there. Nemesis, however, will be the Sun Wukong counter, perhaps, or at least NRG are hoping so.
I mean, Variety had a phenomenal display on this Sun Wukong, really coming up clutch to help Cubo Fred pick up those significant kills when it came down to it. I would not be surprised, and I mean, this time around, though, might be a little bit harder for him to find the solo kill on
Yeah, I think he's going to. I
you think he's going to? Yeah. What if Dimmy kills him for revenge? Ooh. And then they win? And then you'll know that it's whoever gets the solo kill that ultimately wins the game.
Don't be an author, Taco.
That'll be great.
Final bans coming out here. We see Ho Yi and Neith banned out, and the Fafnir will be taken away from Trix Tank. Geb, he's just annoying. So that'll be banned out by Team Dignitas. Nobody likes those shields. NRG, option over to them. They have one selection. They need a hunter, and they need likely a support. We'll see which direction they go in. Dignitas will have their 2 choices after this.
It's interesting that they're more concerned about Raffer on Geb than they are Raffer on Ganesh, because even as well as Raffer was playing with those Dharmic Pillars and the silences all around, they still feel more threatened by what the Geb can provide to the squad.
I think it's twofold. I think that one, my personal opinion, I think that Geb has a better initiation with Blink than the Ganesh. And 2, when it comes down, the Geb shield's just annoying. You successfully get him down, then there's a shield. Yeah, the Ganesh is gonna silence you. Nobody's channeling anything on the side of NRG. Yeah, maybe you stop my bludgeon, but not that big of a deal, so sure. But instead, it'll be the Capri and the Shibalanque. NRG, feeling a little, you know what? We're in Spain, feeling a little caliente.
NRG and the Shibalanque. Here's the thing about Shibalanque and why you never see him. He has probably one of the best team fighting ultimates in the game. Yeah. Seriously, it's probably one of the best ones. You can ask any pro, almost all of them will tell you, we love Shibalanque's ultimate. It's that laning phase. Well,
when you pair it with the Kepri, who has one of the best clears out of the sport.
I mean, it's NRG, so I can never count them out on anything, but this is definitely where Emil would certainly be flexing his talent as an ADC.
And that's exactly the second point that I was going to bring up. Well, maybe my third. My second point is, if the game's going to go 50 minutes, yeah, pick a Xbalanque. That's kind of exactly what he does, right? But also, Emilito, for my money, top 200s in the world. He's just that good.
That's a fair enough.
He really is just that good.
It's a pretty fair compromise, considering the way that he just played in that first game as well.
Yeah. So.
I think that Emil's been having phenomenal performances every single time that NRG has come out to play and really helped establish NRG as still one of those, I wouldn't say that they're a sleeper team, but I mean, people have completely undervalued NRG as of late.
The second chapter of NRG has Emilito's name at the top. When NRG came on through, right, Panthera, the prologue, Raffer puts the team together. Chapter 1, adapting.
So now you want to be the author.
Chapter 2, Yaman and Emilito. You know what? Yeah. Make more sales than you.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you know what? We'll ask the NRG guys after the fact, but Zeros already finds a hit on a Yaman, who trades it back, but it's a bigger hit on a Yaman. At this point in time, not too concerned, because it's about the wave once the minions come and see where you go after the fact. Look at this play by Dignitas. So they see that NRG are starting in their jungle, because this is a full relinquish. We mentioned that Xbalanque has no clear, so don't even try it.
But look at Trix. He's not even allowing them to try and lock down this red buff. They are still able to secure it, though, thankfully enough, but it will be Raffer waddling on top of it. Adapting,
barely getting out of there. In the red, now ticking up to the yellow. But yeah, when you pick a character like Xbalanque, it's the power in the enemy's team. Can they punish it hard enough?
Look at adapting. Forced into the purification beads. Beautiful pluck there by Trixting. Adapting, trying to steal away those minions to see if he could potentially hit level 2 himself. Unsuccessful, cost him his active.
Troublesome start for our level 1 nemesis. Adapting not off to a fantastic launch here. Trixting and Arkle now getting invaded on. Raffer gets the pluck, and Emilito slowly throwing out those bolas. Raffer ticked down about half HP, big damage. Trixting in trouble as well. Raffer gets flipped. There's a couple of pot shots from Arkle, down to 10% HP. But as soon as the wave shows up, everybody runs away. At 1.5 minutes, those minions certainly a little bit more powerful than you want them to be.
That red buff Khepri is the reason why NRG stole the purple buff.
Yeah,
it's a strategy.
You're not even joking.
No, it actually, in all seriousness, that actually was enough damage on the dash to lock it down.
So nice little play coming out from the guys on NRG. But going back to, I kind of like stumbled on my words really hard here, but the point that I was trying to make was that the Xbalanque, you're sort of daring the opponent. All right, what can you do? Can you handle me? And that's why we see Trixting get very aggressive in the enemy jungle. They have to punish the Xbalanque. If you get to late game, God forbid if he winds up with some kills to boost up that passive, then you're in trouble. He's just gonna hit you harder than you're hitting him. That's the nature of this character. But can you get there? And NRG are hoping that they can.
I mean, all he needs is one. Even one kill alone, and speaking of one, Dimmy trying to find that kill onto Variety, but it's gonna cost him his life. Cuvo all too easy with that cleanup. I think Dimmy knew that he was dead, and that's the main reason we see him trying to commit there.
Yeah, exactly. He's, okay, I'm half HP. I'm kind of screwed. I'll hit him with the hammer. That's all you can really do there. First blood going the way of Team Dignitas, 500 gold bounty, almost a full 1,000 gold up already at just 3 minutes.
That's the ideal start for Cuvo every single time on this Camazotz.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find this kill. Cuvo friend of the Camazotz, just the Camazotz in general. This character, virtually no CC. This is not a setup god at all. You want this lead, you want to start swinging, you want that ultimate to allow you to dive and just destroy the opposition, because if you're not hurting them, you're not really doing anything on the bat.
It's really just the base damage. The base damage on his abilities is so high, his scaling is incredible, and you're just completely chunking by the time you reach level 6, 7. You've got quite a few points into your second ability, and the way that you can also sustain off of that is going to be so vital, especially if he wants to choose to camp out a little bit in Dimmy's lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you're looking for that experience, that you just want those levels to be able to pick up all of those base numbers. Invade again into NRG's jungle, and Emilito can just watch, just not there yet. Level 5, the ultimate not providing damage, providing a tactical bonus for NRG, so not gonna help out there. Ultimate on the Zeros. The slippery soul will get away, the Aegis into the opposition, and there's the Shibalaki ultimate. Zeros gets hit by one more time as the Morgan switches into the Nemesis, but it won't be enough. Zero lives by a hair of HP. The mid laner sees another day.
Ooh, and Variety looking to get a little spicy with Dimmy in that soul lane side. Both soul laners forced into their ultimates, and all across the board, just those little moments of aggression. That was a beautiful play, though, by Zeros to escape falling victim to NRG there.
Rolling out of the way. So the Hunter will be safe. Zeros looking for his own red buff. I thought Shibalaki was going to back there to finish up his boots, but he opts not to. And instead will stay in lane. One more wave. Always one more wave.
That's the classic right there. I mean, sometimes, most of the time, it'll cost you.
Doesn't even go for the wave, instead looking for the oracles.
Oracles are more important, just having that vision all around. Cubo's already lurked over there a couple of times, so it'll relieve a little bit of map pressure for NRG.
There's that one more wave. We'll see Raffer go back to base. Trick, Sank, and friends looking for Dimmy one more time. There's the second kill for Team Dignitas. Dimmy, not a good game 2 for him.
But this isn't something that Dimmy is necessarily foreign to. Dimmy, we've seen it time and time again where he's taken up that losing position, and NRG, they don't really go and jump to his aid, and it's because that they trust him to just still be a vital member when those team fights start breaking out. Dimmy knows how to rally to his team, and that's exactly what he's going to do with this Bologna.
Yeah, I mean, he winds up being sort of the Swiss Army knife for this team. NRG will draft a team, and then whatever they kind of need Dimmy to do, he kind of just says, okay. Here's the problem, though. It's not, sometimes we see him, you know, get beat up, but he's playing Guan. Sometimes we see him get beat up, but he's playing some sort of utility god. Bologna, you can't be down and out on the Bologna. You got to be able to fight.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to fall too far behind. And now with Variety having the clear lane pressure, mostly because of the fact that he's had a mana buff the entire game. And that same cannot be said for Dimmy, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, Variety, you can see the blue buff on Trick Tank thanks to the invade coming out from Team Dignitas. Both blues belong to the black and yellow, but Variety's looking for that spam. He wants to find that poke. That's exactly what you're looking at. Dimmy's able to chuck down the Sun Wukong, but Variety's able to dish it right on back, about a full level above Dimmy right about now.
And Dimmy does have his teleport available. Variety's is coming up shortly, though, but Cubo, again, I think this time it's been spotted out, though, and instead, Dimmy's just gonna opt right away to back.
Yeah.
At one ward.
Yeah, a little bit of vision there. Trouble for Dimmy, however. Variety half HP. Cubo Fred's too far away. Variety's kind of baiting here, but Variety does have the ultimate. Hoping that Dimmy would push further down the lane. Not gonna happen. Dimmy doesn't take the bait. Here comes Cubo and the support. They'll look for this neutral camp. And if Dimmy gets excited, they'll look for him too.
A little bit more poke than what Dimmy probably would have ideally wanted to take. And now it's gonna be Cubo. Again, we've seen this one before. Bat out of hell.
3 chunks and the basic. And 3 kills for Team Dignitas. Just chowing down on the Bologna.
2 of them in the hands of Cubo Fred. He is having an absolute field day in this lane. Just so much pressure. T1 tower already going to fall at the 8-minute mark.
Woo. I get excited about 10-minute towers. A pre-8-minute tower? I mean, like we said, it's not exactly Dimmy's best day in the sun here, but that's still a big deal right now.
He doesn't have a TP either, so he's gonna miss out on pretty much all that XP until he gets back to lane.
Look at that jungle separation. Over 1,000 gold separating our Camazotz and adapting here. About a level and a half as well in the experience department. Team Dignitas up 4,000 gold before the 10-minute mark. This is kind of the opposite of what we saw last game.
Oh, it's definitely the opposite, but Zeros, however, getting ulted by adapting. There's a Shibalaki ult. That's what we've been waiting for.
This guy's dead. There's help from Yaman in the sky. Immune for the moment, but not forever. Adapting kills Zeros. NRG answers back, but Trick Tank continuing Dignitas' reign of terror. Cubo Fred as well. 2 kills for Dignitas. Raffer might be the 3rd. But the ultimate for Khepri will deter just for the moment. The 2nd kill, patience pays off, and Cubo 4-0-2. It's a young game, but he's 100% participated in all of these kills. The window is open, and the gold series is in the sights.
And they do not care at all about that T1 tower when there's a free Gold Fury on the map. Team Dignitas only extending their lead after securing that Gold Fury for free.
This is so clean, and you know, Emilito is just sitting there like, please guys, I'll see you in 20 minutes. Just last 20 minutes, and I'll throw some bolas. But Emilito, outside of that ultimate, really can't contribute to these fights. I mean, Shibalaki is the latest of late game characters. Nice play over here on the left-hand side, hoping to give Emilito some power by way of the passive. Adapting uses the ultimate, and Arkle gonna land down. Basics are good. Adapting takes the kill away from Emilito. Not gonna knock it though. Emilito might have fallen, finding himself in the red. So a kill going the way of NRG Esports in the left-hand lane. Gotta keep the Shibalaki alive.
If that had been a 1v1, Emilito dies pretty much every time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But thankfully enough, I mean, he's never going to take that fight anyway, unless Adapting's there, which I'm sure you could definitely tell. And speaking of taking up a fight, Dimmy trying to help NRG defend that speed buff.
I like that we don't get a rerun. 3 deaths solo by Dimmy. Somebody finally helps him out. Now, granted, Dimmy had a half shift all the way to the mid lane. Raffer's ultimate's good, but again, there's the Emilito ultimate. That'll be enough to deter Team Dignitas from the tower dive. But Kimo Fred around the back end again, out of control. The jungler virtually won game number 1, and here he's in game 2, Taco, kind of doing the same.
First he steals Adapting speed buff, then he manages to stay lurking around that T1, T2 area just because he trusted his team to force out that ultimate from Raffer. And if you're under 10 HP or in that 10% threshold, you're basically free food for Camisots.
Portal Demon goes down again. Tricks Tank dealing with 2 players. Demon's going forward because he has help from Yaman on the backside, but he's gone. And that's not Morgan using invisibility. That's Tricks Tank putting him in the ground.
Why is Tricks Tank 3-0? He's the classic support right now.
He's so big. And you know what? Jokes aside, I actually really like, I really want to bring this up. Hide of the Urchin, item number 2, not usually what you see. Usually you see Hide of the Urchin item number 3 after a bridge item. But if you're gonna have 8 kills by 11 minutes, the way that Team Dignitas is brawling, you adapt. And here you are already with 2 stacks on that Urchin.
He has so much of a lead over Raffer as well. He's already level 11. Raffer was still level 8. And so you just know that his gold is significantly higher, especially when you have 3 kills to your name.
Emilito does have a lead above Arkle. Hey, I've seen this one before. Dimmy gets ganked by 2 players in Dignitas jerseys. Kimo Fred looking for the kill. 2 basics, just 1.
He wanted the assist. That's all that he wanted. And speaking of assists, Arkle could use a little bit of assistance in this dual lane side. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, though. He's going to get cleaned up yet again, except this time it's a passive stack for Emil. 5
extra bonus power. Emilito, well, he paid for it. Variety misses basic. But Emil walks into the wall. Zeros gets the kill in the jungle. Raffer falls down. 2 more kills for Team Dignitas. They find themselves 1 shy of a dozen. 12:30, 12 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Team Dignitas will hold the gold lead because they're about to earn 500 more gold on top of what they've already earned. NRG Esports trailing by 8,000 gold. They're pushing to tier 2 with 13 minutes.
Arkle has basically been made the sacrificial lamb for this game, and he is perfectly fine with that. It doesn't even matter because when you're an ADC that's getting targeted out by the enemy jungler, adapting, putting pressure into that side of the map is really the only place he has left to go. Everywhere else has kind of just lost the laning phase, so he can't really exert any pressure to help them catch back up.
Yeah, Dignitas is just running away like an out-of-control train right now. I mean, there's nothing that NRG Esports can really do here. The Shibalaki pick, now we've stressed this a lot. Shibalaki, late-game character, not going to do anything early game. I'm going to ask you in black and white, if we saw a different Hunter here, is this a different story? Because I don't think so.
I don't think so either, personally, just because of the fact that the emphasis here has really just been placed onto Dimmy in that solo lane side. It's just been him pretty much getting montaged by Cubo, putting so much pressure into that lane.
And this is what maybe I mentioned it, maybe I didn't. Cubo has this, that was that coin flip that I was talking about Dignitas. You could be 30,000 gold down and Dignitas still kind of in it. It's because of this, it's because of Cubo Fred. He just sort of has this power to be able to do so. Yeah, there's Variety. Cubo's been helping him out all game.
And I mean, Variety is probably one of the last players that needs any sort of assistance in that solo lane side. He's a very proficient solo laner on his own, but it's just so incredibly difficult for Dimmy to try and be that person that takes the losing matchup. Just, yeah, that Gold Fury is just gone.
Gold Fury goes for free to Team Dignitas. NRG not feeling this game, number 2. Emilito running away. The tier 1 tower in mid lane gone. The tier 1 tower in left lane gone. The tier 1 tower in the right lane also gone. So there's nowhere for Emil to go at all.
And Variety actually choosing to jump back into adapting despite having just been ulted by it.
He's 4 levels above him. Of course he's gonna jump on in. No big deal. NRG Esports. To say they're on the back foot, we've been putting it nicely right now. Nice flip out of Trick's tank, served right up into the hands of Arkle. And Dimmy already below half HP.
Dimmy's just gonna have to retreat. Cubo, once again, trying to kind of lurk around his backside.
He missed.
Cubo's happy to take up that trade, though. He's got sustain.
And look at that, look at that. So much distraction on the right side of the map, allowing Zeros on the Soul, the tower-killing powerhouse. 1,500 more gold. That's why Zeros likes this Soul so much, is that Dignitas is able to spread the floor, keep everybody looking at something different, and then Zeros just kind of shows up and takes down a tower while oh, he's over there? Ah, man, down it goes. There's only 1 tower left. 16 minutes hasn't even been dinged.
That dash catch by Variety was so on point. Dimmy just trying to one away. Can't even do that. Tiger Stun is good to connect, and all around, this Dignitas, this game has just completely shifted into another gear entirely.
This is, sometimes games spill over into other games, and this is game 1 spilling over into game 2, just flat out. I mean, NRG commanded the lead for game number 1, and I'm not implying that NRG are tilted or anything like that. What I'm implying is that the momentum in the sails of Team Dignitas is continuing here from game 1 into game 2. Cubo Fred earns himself another kill, opening the window for another objective. And there's Dig leading by over 10,000.
They're just trying to go on Variety here, but they can't even commit because that's the beauty of Sun Wukong.
They're doing
There's nobody there.
They're doing fire.
Raffer's dead, and the other 3 members of his team are, well, Dimmy was trying to defend.
Yeah, tier 1 tower goes down to the left-hand side. Variety might die as well, but it's all paid in full as Team Dignitas earn themselves the Fire Giant at 17 minutes. Variety is successfully defending against 3 separate players. The surrender vote has started. Variety gets the kill. 1 versus 3. He don't even care. Out of control. Dignitas, just nuts. I got nothing else to say.
I think this one, when you see that F6 come through from NRG, I think that they're ready to call it for this game and completely restart. This went a little bit out of control. I would not introduce the tilt factor in the slightest here. I think that this game just snowballed entirely out of their control.
I mean, it was just the domination on the left side of the jungle because of the Shibalake pick. Just became too much. We saw a couple of jungle invades, and it was 1,000 gold raw lead without taking the first blood into account. And then they get the kill, and then Raffer falls here in the mid lane. All of the structures are down. 4 players, grouped up with Fire Giant buff, pre-19 minutes at the Phoenix. Mid-Phoenix toasted.
There's just no way that these Phoenixes are going to stay alive for much longer. And speaking of staying alive, adapting, falling the same exact way, just plucked and completely wrecked.
Double kill for Variety. Arkle just standing there during the ultimate. Takes to the sky, Yaman in trouble. Cubo Fred giving chase, Trick's tank as well. Nice shots from Arkle. And Cubo Fred again cleans him up. 8-0-7 for my unofficial Game 2 MVP, Cubo Fred.
I think that Dignitas aren't going to mess around, though. They want to just go ahead and call it for game number 2 in their favor. and there's nobody from NRG who has even the slightest possibility of defending. That was so one-sided.
Listen.